Hello everyone, Santier here, aka Ben, and I am once again joined by my sister Jennifer.
Hello.
For the final episode of our Ocarina of Time playthrough together. It's been a lot of fun.
It has been very fun.
Longer game than I remembered.
Oh, this is cool because it's still all creepy and all, but we don't have the Ring of Fire around Death Mountain anymore.
Death Mountain has been
I managed to not say Mount Doom. I said Death Mountain this time.
Huzzah.
So yeah, that's cool to see. All right, and there's Ganon's castle with its own cloud swirling around, one assumes.
This has been a very casual playthrough. Oh yeah, I never came over here. This is my first time coming over here. I could have come over here way earlier.
You could have come here as soon as you became an adult, really.
Yes.
This was an enormous building project. Do you think it got completed like 3 days ago?
I think he used the Triforce of Power.
Oh, that makes more sense. So we did it pretty quickly. They did say the castle surrendered quickly. All right.
Hi, skeleton.
That's a very large head. I don't think you were a human when you were, or a Hylian when you were alive. It's interesting seeing some of the bits that are recognizable, like the gate.
Yeah.
That's one of the fun things with time travel, is like seeing how things have changed, you know?
17 hearts.
All right, yes.
And there is a Skulltula over here. So I'll collect one last Skulltula.
Might as well, I suppose. It's 52, right?
Yep, should be.
Very exciting. Navi wants to talk to you, by the way. We have to save Princess... No, really? I didn't know we needed to do that. Did you need to do that, Ben?
I don't know. I feel like I remember that at the end of the last time.
I mean, it didn't cross my mind.
This is exactly what Ganondorf's expecting us to do.
Yeah, so maybe we should just leave her there, huh? But he'll never have the Triforce of Courage, just of the two.
That's true.
I mean, that was a really obvious one, Navi. Did you not want to go to get the...
I need gold gauntlets.
Okay.
We'll get it later.
Gotcha. Link, can you hear me? It's Rauru, the sage. I changed the voice because it's Rauru. We six will gather our power to create a bridge to the castle where Ganondorf dwells. The castle's keep, which is known as Ganon's Tower, is protected by 6 evil barriers. Bring down the 6 barriers and save Princess Zelda.
Or do barrier skip.
We don't have that.
Well, I'm not skipping the barriers, but it is a common speedrunning strat.
Uh-huh. So do you think this rainbow bridge is inspired by Norse mythology?
It could be, but there's also a Rainbow Road from Mario Kart.
That's clearly the inspiration here.
Yeah, clearly. It's really pretty. I think it could just be inspired by the fact that they have a rainbow of sages. And
I was about to say that they're in order, but they aren't because the red is very far away. It should be green and then red if they're in order. Because it's Light Temple, and then Forest Temple, and then Water Temple, and then Shadow Temple, and then Fire Temple, and then Spirit Temple.
Yeah.
So fire's out of order. But it's almost correct.
Yeah, because this is the order they show up here. Which is interesting because it does have Shadow at the end.
I wonder if it was supposed to be that way originally and somehow it got shifted around. Or if like you could do it either way and it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean you can do Shadow and Spirit in either order and it doesn't matter. I mean I did it.
Exactly, that's how you did it, yeah.
Actually, is this is... Wait. Forest, Fire...
Water.
No, because I did Water before Fire.
Yeah, that's not the order you did them in. They placed them there.
Yeah. And we didn't have any wasted heart pieces.
That's right. I feel good about that. Now, is he actually going to be playing the organ where we can follow it as we go up? Like it gets louder and louder as we get closer or anything like that? Do you know when we get to the tower?
You'll have to wait and find out.
Ooh, I'm excited. And here's the barrier they just told us about.
Yep, this is the evil barrier. And down here, for those who don't know, is a bunch of fairies and some Dekus who sell you stuff.
Exciting. Does it scare the fairies if you bang with the ground with a magnifying hammer?
Yeah, it doesn't scare the fairies, but it certainly scares the scrubs.
Yep. I guess the fairies are flying, so they don't notice.
It's true.
Oh, it has the medallion symbol over the door. That's nice.
Oh, I'm going to have to get a fairy from there.
Ah, yep. You need the fire, right?
Yeah.
The blue fire.
So these are all kind of like reprised puzzles from the various dungeons.
Mm-hmm. I would say this is more from the ice cavern rather than from the water temple, though.
It is.
Does that really properly count?
I mean, the idea is that it was causing freezing, so...
Yeah. That's true. Of what Oh, that was nice. You just literally needed that. What Ganon was doing was freezing things, yeah. You should have done it the opposite direction, apparently. And then had the heart after that. Oh well.
I'm gonna grab some more fire just in case I need it for the next.
Not a bad idea. You have an empty bottle now, after all.
Yeah.
Might as well make use of it. I'm glad the icicles that we have in our house today are not doing that, falling down. That would not be good if they were.
Okay, as I thought, death trigger.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, 2 minutes. Move the blocks.
Okay. Let me.
Did we determine if iron boots made you not slip? They did, but they were slow. That's right.
Yeah, they're very slow.
Is the goal to fill the hole?
The goal is to get over to there.
Ah, so not filling the hole. Filling the hole is bad.
It might be needed. Okay, let me think about this.
Maybe one goes in the hole and the other one can slide over it then, if you do that.
So that could be a stopping point. Oh, okay, I see.
I'm glad you do.
No, not climb. Grab.
Put away. Wow, they're not giving you grab. This is why you need 2 minutes. So you can actually... Holy cow. I keep on seeing grab as an option, but they're not letting it stay there very long. Okay, it's cycling through attack, climb, and grab. You now have 1 minute. Okay. I figured it'd be something like that, yeah. Alright. Yay. I'm really bad at these kinds of puzzles because my mind don't work spatially. But you're pretty good at them, I feel like. What do you think happens?
I enjoy these sorts of puzzles.
What do you think happens? Oh, it's good you got that fire. What do you think happens in 40 seconds?
I get voided out of the room and have to start over.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure that's what
It's
happens.
not that the blocks move back to where they were.
Okay, I see you switch.
Rusty.
I see what you're putting down. Yeah, fairy disappeared.
I figured it would have.
Yeah.
Interesting door with the like almost like claws on the sides of it or something. Oh, that's nice.
Okay, I need to grab my light arrows. Of course, we're coming for our wife first.
Our fiancée, we haven't actually
That's
married
true.
her.
That's true. You know, it's one of those things. Is like, is Ocarina of Time a harem anime?
Did they tell you to use light arrows? A lot of the girls seem to like them, don't they? The water barrier's dispelled. Hurry up! A lot of the female sages, except for Impa, she's like the only one, seem to be like, "Oh, you're so cute. I should have promised you something." Says Nabora. It's like, what? Like you grew up really well, or something.
Yeah.
A little weird. At least the other ones are more age appropriate. I mean, I don't know about Saria. That's a little weird because, like, technically she's who knows how old, right?
I don't know.
I don't
They're
either.
friends. She kind of defies age a little bit.
Yeah. That's just a weird one. She can be his platonic soulmate, hasn't it?
I think that's probably pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need that, and I probably want. I don't know. Do I need hovers here?
I don't even know which room you're in at this point.
I do not need Megaton Hammer at the moment. This is Shadow.
Okay. Ah, that's why. Hence the hover. Oops. That was kind of
What does
cute.
this contain?
I mean, I guess you actually were able to use that for once. If you did that, you would run into the green bubble, I bet. Ooh, we managed to avoid him. Good show. Oh yeah, you can use likes to get to where they are.
A little closer.
Do you need to get closer?
I don't have much of a closer.
Yeah.
Come on, your sliminess.
He can't tell you're here, so he's not getting inching closer to get closer to you. He's just hanging out where he is.
You know what? We'll just void.
Does that remove a heart? Yes, it does.
I don't care. I think you might be able to latch onto that, like if things go right.
Yeah, if he's in the right spot.
No, Link, turn! Turn, Link, turn!
Well, you were always going to go back to that fairy fountain, so I mean... Now you have even more reason to go back.
I guess this is a spot where you kind of... Well, you could...
Ah!
Give
Watch
me my
him
shirt.
spit you out over the edge. I knew it. I knew it. He spit you out over the edge, and you lost your fire tunic.
Yeah, I can buy another one if I absolutely have to.
Is that why you were wearing it?
I was wearing it for the next one.
Ah. He spit you over the edge. Alright, you managed to avoid the like this time. You're gonna run out of legacy. Can you, if you kill him, can you get it back?
I would say yes, but I don't know if voiding out screwed that up.
Oh, okay. So you could have if you hadn't voided.
I believe so, yeah.
Oh, that's too bad. That would have... It's not like your fault you fell off. He spat you out falling off. You had everything that could go wrong with that one.
Yes, I did.
Can you see anything? Okay.
I
answer
can
is
see
no.
enough.
At least this one didn't disappear? Or something?
Yep.
They probably made it just low enough that you couldn't reach the... No, you were able to, good. Could say, if they made that just low enough that you can't properly see this, that would be so mean. Okay, there's the golden gauntlets you mentioned. Okay.
Okay.
Ah, and this one doesn't have to have that, trigger
Dick.
from the,
Okay, this is where it goes. Yes, this is not...
Which is good, because...
I think I mispronounced tick back there, by the way.
Tick? Like TikTok? When did you say the word tick?
I meant, like, hang on a second.
Oh, hang on a tick?
Yeah.
I don't remember you saying that, so it's probably fine. Alright.
Okay, so we're gonna leave after I shoot this.
Get the double health.
To get that also, but
to buy
a Goron tunic.
The shadow barrier is dispelled. Please save the princess. I love that throughout the whole thing, her whole thing has been saving the princess.
Yep.
She's been very consistent with that. She cares about Zelda.
Indeed. Because I believe the fire area is hot.
It wouldn't surprise me if it were.
Okay, give me...
Also, it feels like you're empty without it, you know?
Yep.
Incomplete. Where'd you want to go? Okay, that's where you want to go. Da, 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 da. It's Sheik playing first and then you. Inside a building.
I wondered if that was going to be the case.
I kind of thought it would be too. Exit the building. You can get the fairy thing first, I guess.
Actually. I want to see if any of them sell me more Deku Nuts.
How much money will you need to buy the Goron tunic?
200 rupees?
Okay, 'cause some of them have been really expensive.
Where am I?
I mean, I can give you a smart aleck answer. You were in the basement, I suppose, of Gannon's
I
castle.
need to be this way. I think. Okay, I'm all sorts of turned around. It's under the entryway bridge.
So, I guess you can,
Let's get rid of this.
I guess if you exit, then you will be able to figure out where the entrance is.
Get out of here.
That's a very... I guess the barrier breaks it, huh?
Yep.
So if you ever touch the barrier, that will happen to you. Don't touch the barrier.
No, that's just it landed somewhere.
I know, I'm teasing. Where did you enter from? Here?
Over here.
Oh, okay, we found it now. Yay. I like his purple carpet. I don't think I would want carpet that color, but it is a really pretty color.
Mm-hmm. Friggin' like just had to chuck me over a cliff.
I know, that was so terrible. I could see it coming too. I was like, it's gonna throw you over the cliff, isn't it? And it did. Oh. So right, we decide, is this the same Great Fairy or a different Great Fairy? It's in the same...
Well, it's a Great Fairy of magic.
It's in the same location. But maybe she was so depressed by the destruction of the castle that she moved away and someone else came here. We will have to see. For all we know, there are only two Great Fairies, the one of power and the one of magic, and they just like move around.
There's a Great Fairy of wisdom.
That's right, there was one of wisdom, wasn't there?
I so much prefer doing that with buttons on the stick, but here we are. That is a different camera move.
Yeah, very dramatic.
Are you the Great Fairy of Courage?
That would be a fun one. I was thinking about the fact that it felt really unequal because of that. Aha! She is.
Yeah.
Welcome, Link. I am the Great Fairy of Courage. So we've got
3 Great Fairies of Magic, the Great Fairy of Wisdom, the Great Fairy of Power, and the Great Fairy of Courage.
Okay, that makes sense. That's why she was power. Because it wasn't because it was like there's ones that are magic and there are ones that are power. It's that there's power, wisdom, and courage, and then there's just the generic magic that give you magic.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I like that more. I am going to enhance your defensive power.
And also like red flame again, or orange flame.
Mm-hmm.
And the pose of these ones.
Receive it now. Which is not sideways. The other one sideways?
Magic is sideways.
Oh, magic sideways. Okay. They keep changing it around. I don't know.
Well, the magic fairies lay on their side and go into a position. And the other 3 are in like more of a sitting pose and then have this more standing
Do you think
pose.
she's saying this or the narrator is saying this?
And the narrator is telling me my defensive power is
The narrator
enhanced.
says your defensive power is enhanced. All right. Your defensive
Has a
power
blue
has
background.
been enhanced. Oh, this is... Oh, really? Oh, I never noticed that this entire time. I should have known that. So now she says the same thing the narrator just told us.
Yes.
Damage inflicted by enemies will be reduced by half.
Instead of getting like additional, like an armor, like mail to reduce your armor. Because like A Link to the Past has blue mail and red mail that reduce your damage by like half and quarter probably. I'm not actually sure. But instead, tunic colors just prevent effects in this game. So
Yeah. When battle has made you weary, please come back to see me. So long.
Farewell.
Auf Wiedersehen. Adieu.
Okay, and just in case I can't warp from here, I'm going to step outside and then warp to...
I think it's likely you can't warp from in there, because I feel like indoors doesn't like it when you
I'm going to
warp.
need... hook shot. Let's see.
Da-da. Yep, there you got it.
That one's really hard to do on the friggin' stick.
Well, having A be the lowest note and B higher on the...
It doesn't help.
That just makes it really confusing.
It really, really doesn't help.
Just psychologically, it doesn't...
How long do they give me in here?
I would be curious. Especially with the double HP. Oh, it's still 2
I
minutes.
don't think
okay.
double affects the duration.
It doesn't seem like it does, yeah. It would be a little unfair if it did, I suppose. Oh, you were able to... I'm surprised you were able to make it up when you were aiming that low.
It's a climbable thing like a ladder.
Oh, really?
What I'm surprised by is that I shot up to the top of it.
I always, always, always forget that like, shortcut exists.
I don't know why. It's extremely useful.
It is! I just never remember it. Welcome. 200 rupees, yep. Yeah, and there you go. It's the blue background because it's the narrator.
Yep.
Wow. That is... How did I never notice that until now?
Do I want to grab a fairy from a fairy fountain? Yeah, I will. When I go back in.
I thought you were contemplating if you wanted to buy something else. And I was like, what would you be buying?
I kind of want to go to Kakariko and see if I can buy some nuts.
You don't have enough?
I would like more nuts.
How many do you have?
Like 9.
Oh, was that another Goron? Has this been like...
Yeah, the Gorons are back.
Oh, that's right, because you rescued them all, of course.
Yeah.
So there is some degree of seeing things be fixed in this game.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that. Okay,
I think they all just say thank you, Link.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you go around, like, Gorons are all over the place. Yeah.
That makes me glad that we do see some consequences to Link helping people.
I'm going to go to Kokiri. That's a good place to buy Deku Nuts.
It would be.
I just realized I was extremely close to Kokiri. So, like, Kokiri Forest gets fixed. The Gorons get back.
Okay, but the Zora don't. See, that's the thing is the Zora not getting fixed really sticks out.
Yeah, it does kind of stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they did that.
And I suppose you could say Gerudo's different because you aren't, like, being pursued anymore. That you're able
to... you kind of, like, join them or whatever.
Yeah. Wow, that's a lot of money that you don't need. Actually, you could because you just spent 200 rupees.
Yeah, I still don't need
Are they open all night?
I believe so.
I'm still weirded out by the realization that none of the Kokiri have doors. Maybe does Link have a door? Does Link have a door?
No.
No, he doesn't have a door either. Okay. So I was going to say, if he does have a door, that's how you know he's not actually a Kokiri. No. But yeah, when Navi had to explain to you how a door worked, it's like, that's because the Kokiri don't have doors. So he's never seen this before. He's like, what is this weird barrier? It's like, you turn the handle.
Yep.
That was so funny. That was our first episode, right?
I think.
It was the Deku tree.
Yes, the Deku tree where she's teaching me how to open a door.
Yes.
By walking up and into it and pressing A.
Yes, exactly. That was so funny.
That was a while ago. This is our 14th episode, and they've all been at least an hour long. I was expecting it to be like half this, but...
yeah.
And I didn't do everything by a long stretch. Like, that was never the goal. It was always kind of like a casual playthrough of doing, like, stuff. Because there's things I didn't want to do, and then I found I couldn't aim worth crap. So there was more things I didn't want to do.
Yeah, well, I think you've gotten better at the aiming, though.
I've gotten better at the aiming. I still don't feel like I'm great at it.
I'm curious to see if Majora's Mask will eventually do that. Will be also, like, the reversed aiming, or could it be what you're used to? Because there have been several things that you've mentioned that, like, they changed in Majora's Mask.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the light arrows being more powerful is the most recent example of that.
Yeah.
So I wonder if the aiming will be the same, or if it will be changed, or what is going on with that situation.
I don't know. It's very...
I have no idea. All right, so I guess we're going to the stray fairies.
Yeah, we're going to we're gonna go grab a fairy.
And then whichever... We've got 4 more of these, right?
Yeah. I'm probably gonna do light next.
All right. Yay! Yeah, that was blue because it's the narrator saying that. Ooh, this is so exciting.
You never noticed, huh?
I never noticed that. I didn't look at the background.
Let's go open light arrows. Oh, and I'm playing the GameCube version for those who have gotten this far and never noticed.
Which means that they've only watched this video and none of the other ones.
It's true. You should go watch the entire thing. It's been fun. We've had some very odd conversations and some very good ones.
There are 13 previous episodes.
Yep.
It's a lucky number.
Oh, okay. I see. I see what...
You see? I'm not sure about that. I think you don't see. The Light Temple doesn't actually have... You don't have to fight there, so whatever they're doing for this is like whatever they think makes sense for the Light Temple. You know what I mean?
It's a bunch of keys.
Yeah, because there isn't actually like a Light Temple to base this on.
Yeah.
So they decided the treasure chest game was what to base it on. No, I'm joking. That's clearly the XP of the Light Temple, is a treasure chest game.
Oh, man. Man. Again, like, I know that there's a lot of blue rupees in,
treasure chests?
In chests, like, in the item pool.
Now you know why.
Now I know why.
Also, you open those in the correct order. Never mind. You almost opened them in the correct order.
Well, I opened the previous ones in the correct order.
Yeah.
Danger darts.
That's helpful.
I think the...
Aww.
I only took a card hard damage. It's not bad.
Yeah.
So literally only one of those was... 2 of those were useful.
Why did Ganondorf put this in here?
I don't know. How did he learn the song to put it here?
Well, he didn't have to put the song, he had to put the Triforce symbol.
Why? But it's connected to this chest.
Yes, the chest knew the song, not Ganondorf.
I don't like your world of sentient chests.
Now I'm actually thinking about this earlier. We were talking about the chest that had, not talking, but I was observing the chest that had the, oh, and you can see that symbol, by the way, that I was mentioning with the 3 triangles and the 3 circles that I was getting mixed up.
Oh, yeah.
With the Shadow Temple
one.
versus the Light Temple. You can see it over there and the medallion on the door. But when we're observing the tricky treasure boxes that ice you. Mm-hmm. Wow, you have bad luck with rocks. It was reminding me of in Tales of Symphonia, there is a treasure chest, or well, it's a box, and if you go to open it, it attacks you, and like it's this like really impossible fight. Remember this? It's in one of the earlier temples, like the fire one or something, and then it's like this like super duper really hard sentient chest that you have to fight, and it's awful. Mm-hmm. And like you cannot do it at that point. You're not experienced enough. The light barrier is dispelled. Hurry! He's very just on target. Not saying anything strange about saving princesses. He didn't really know you, so see, there you go. There's a symbol.
Yep.
And so then when you were also mentioning sentient chests, that reinforced and made me sad. I should mention this stray thought I had instead of just having it. But yeah, you don't remember this.
Not offhand, but it's been ages since I played that
It was in one of the earlier dungeons, and we were not ready to deal with it. It was awful. It was very, very strong. And so is it hot in here or not?
It is hot in here.
It is hot in here.
I had a timer. I have since turned off the timer.
Yay! You're sinking.
Yes, I am sinking.
Did the hover boots help?
The hover boots make this not sink.
Ah. Oh, this platform here?
Yes, this platform starts sinking.
If this one started sinking, that would be pretty bad. That would certainly give you...
Add to the stress. Yeah,
yes. Sure. Ah! Speaking of stress. They like these golden rupee thing, don't they? I mean, silver rupee thing.
They definitely like to collect all of the rupees, yeah.
Maybe he's... he being Ganondorf is secretly a fan of music. I mean, he likes the Gorgon, right? So maybe he's enjoying... Oops. Was he meant to do a night arrow?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe he... I can see that it did not kill it. You're right. Not one-shotting it.
Yeah.
Maybe he's actually a fan of music, and so he wants to have these musical rupees. You didn't want the magic.
They'll give me a pot at the end of the thing.
I suppose so. I don't like leaving things behind. All right, good thing you got those strong.
Another spot where you need the gold gauntlets.
Yeah, so it's important to do that one early, it seems like.
You have to do it fairly early.
Because I imagine some people would be like, oh, I should do these in order that I did.
2 of them require it. I think this is like 1 of 3 uses. They give it to you really late, and
do.
It's not like they're not more impressive than silver gauntlets for other things. Mm-hmm. So
it is definitely a very last minute addition to your repertoire.
Yeah.
Inventory. That's probably a better word. Although if we're keeping the theme of music, we can say repertoire, I suppose. Huh?
Yeah.
Also, it takes half a heart on now.
Yep. They take half damage.
Mm-hmm. Which is fun seeing it in action.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these injuries you get, I don't know how much they would normally be hurting you otherwise. But that's one I can actually spot.
Yep. Okay, let's get...
You want to change tunics too, huh?
I kind of want to finish the game on green tunic, and I'm on that screen anyway.
That makes sense. Instead of revisiting it all the time.
There it is.
Yep. Didn't quite. It wasn't one of the really big ones.
Yeah.
I still think they look like bottles, and then not sacks. Like when you told me they were when I saw that they were sacks, it really threw me off. Or bags or whatever. The fire bearer is dispelled.
What are you talking about?
Hurry up, brother!
They're jars.
No, when you got one, the bigger ones. They weren't. It wasn't a jar. It was like a sack.
Oh, what?
Of magic.
No, they're all just different sized jars.
Are you sure? Because we had a discussion about this, I thought.
Like, the graphic that they showed for acquiring a jar for the first time was, like, very clearly a jar. And you're like, they're a jar?
I thought it was the other way around.
Well, you know what? We have video evidence of
We'll
this.
have to replay that one.
We'll have to look at the tapes.
You have to insert that in here.
This has been a while ago.
It was.
I'm not going to edit it in. That's too much work.
I thought that I always thought they were jars, and then that showed it as a bag, and I thought that was bizarre. I always thought they were jars, and they were actually a bag. You're saying it was the other way around, though.
I think it was the other way around, yes.
I don't know about this. I look forward to watching that episode with great interest now.
Oh, you're one of those ones.
It needs 2 bumps.
Why is it automatically putting me in first-person perspective there?
So you can direct the bump to it properly, I guess.
As you said, they like these.
Yes. It's Ganondorf's musicality coming into play. He wanted to take over Hyrule because he didn't think the king appreciated music enough. Because he didn't know about the lullaby because it's secret, right? So he thought the king didn't really like music, and that was a problem. So.
This is an interesting canon we're developing.
More slugs! I'm right that the Portas are the most common enemy. I think that one is a bag. I think the smaller ones are jars and the larger ones are bags. Because the big ones look kind of baggish. But I think I thought they were jars, and actually, when we got the close-up, it was a bag.
My brain is just going, Baggins now. Shire.
Baggins!
The solution to this puzzle is, hey look, we made these cool things called bomb shoes.
Ooh.
Good enough.
Yep, it hit it. It triggered it.
I think you can hookshot clip through this in the 3DS version, because hookshot clipping is super easy in that one.
Oh. Well, I mean, logically speaking... Wait, is this the spirit one? I was not even paying attention to which one you entered.
Yes, this is spirit.
I think logically speaking, it's bars, right? So, I mean, it would have holes, but you could probably fit the hookshot through, depending on how fat the head of the hookshot is.
Yeah, the way... I did not mean to do that. The way hookshot clipping works is that the hookshot in the 3DS version kind of comes from the end of the hookshot. So if you manage to clip Link's arm through a wall as you go into first person.
Oh, okay. Now that one sounds weird. What were you doing with the hookshot just a moment ago, by the by?
Nothing.
Okay, you're just messing around.
I was demonstrating its existence.
Okay. Money!
Well, those guys are full of money. I have no clue which one of these is correct, so we're just gonna...
Why not do them all? Oh, is that what makes the Wall Master come?
Yeah. Otherwise, Navi would have warned me, I suppose.
Ah, good point. But if you look at the one that hasn't been triggered yet, by the way, you don't have to, but if you do look at one that hasn't been triggered yet, of the suns, well, I can't see that because you've got things on top of it. There's a pattern to the dark and light yellow. Of like, you can see the 3 dark ones at the top are all going to the left, and then they switch and you have 3 going to the right.
You're right.
So like they're alternating, and then, so it's where it's like in the middle.
Huh.
But then the lighter ones, they're going opposite directions, like from the middle, if that makes sense. I don't know. You can see it. Anyway, both of them have like 3 going in each direction, but they're offset from each other. And I memorized how to do that once so I could draw it when I was younger. I probably could do it again pretty easily, but...
I had Deku Notes for some random reason.
They know you like them.
They do.
But anyway, that's the kind of thing that interests me with some of the design of like the artwork or something. I think that's kind of interesting to try to recreate or something. The spirit barrier is dispelled. Hurry up, kid! That is just like apparently such a Gerudo thing is to call people kid.
Yeah.
Call Link specifically kid. So we've got forest and anything else, or just forest?
I think I'm ending on Saria.
I think it's just her, right?
I believe so.
The first temple and the last barrier.
That guy is mega dead.
I chest appears.
Yeah, I'm not sure why.
It'll have ice in it or something, right? We can see what it is. And for once, the blue rupee is actually useful. For the one time you've gotten a blue rupee and it's actually able to do something. The door didn't open though.
Nah, there's one more on top of it.
Oh, okay.
And I could reassign to like bow. Okay, apparently you have to. Din's fire doesn't reach that high, everyone.
What's funny is that when you do it and then like it spreads out, like to dissipate, and you'd think when it does the spreading out to dissipate, it would.
You would think that, wouldn't you? I thought that.
Yeah. I think the entrance to the Shadow Temple is like a really special thing where.
But this
they
goes.
make an
It goes
exception to make it
wide really well.
Oh, does it?
That's
Okay.
not the issue.
Oh, okay.
Hang on, is that a time?
That's one of those weird fans, isn't it?
Yes, it is. This is kind of a wind area.
This is more
Drift
proof.
from the microphone.
This is more proof that Ganondorf likes music, and he just wanted Hyrule to be more musical. Yeah, I was actually thinking earlier when we saw the image for the Forest Temple that I know you could probably interpret the image as like 4 leaves, kind of in a swirly thing, but they always make me think of like air or something for some reason. So saying it's kind of almost more like an air or wind place kind of makes me think of that.
Yeah.
There you go. You can't use a bomb chew here, Ben.
Oh well, now I have to see. Yeah, that's way too.
What? Over there?
That's why my sentence stopped.
Huh.
I was gonna say that's way too deep, but
It ended up going sideways. In 2 meanings of that.
okay.
Ended up going sideways, like physically, but also like not how we blended it to. Sideways. Whee!
I for some reason assumed that would work. I was apparently. Maybe I need to try again.
Ah! Well, that went well.
Well, now I'm gonna have to collect them all again.
Aw. That's frustrating. At least, is the Beemo still gone, though?
I don't think so.
Yeah, he's back, too.
What does this do?
Good question. What does it do?
I haven't the foggiest.
Huh.
Oh, well that makes that easier.
What did it do? Oh! That makes it a lot easier. Apparently that's how you're supposed to have collected it. The whole time. If only we'd known.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he dropped a bomb.
He did. They can do that.
That was nice of him. Since you used a bomb to kill him, you get a bomb in return.
Yep. I don't know how much the hover boots are necessary to get between these, but
No reason not to choose him, I suppose.
that was kind of my feeling.
Yay.
Okay,
I might remove them now, though.
I'm
That really was more wind-based than forest-based. I agree.
But like, what mechanics are you taking from the Forest Temple? Twisty hallways, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The ghosts? Like, yeah, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot, I suppose, huh? The fire's green. I guess there's that.
Yeah, lighting torches is way more Forest Temple.
The forest barrier is dispelled. Hurry up, Link.
The main place where we saw those fans previously was the Shadow Temple.
Exactly. They look just like with the goblin heads around them or whatever.
And they're the same element.
Mm-hmm. Element or asset?
Either one, I guess.
Okay. Oh, great. That took 40 minutes.
To be fair, we had a shopping interlude in there.
We did have a shopping interlude.
After I got molested by a like, stole my shirt, spat me off a cliff.
That was such a bad confluence of events. It's like the worst possible way that could have happened.
Yep. I don't want shooties. You sell arrows?
Red potion.
I do not need a red potion. I think I'm good on all of those, yes.
Where do you think is home for these guys? They all live in the forest?
I will buy your arrows. I will buy your very overpriced arrows. I am happy.
Like you need money. Oh, you don't want to get nuts or anything then, huh?
I'm all up on nuts.
Oh, okay.
I bought 20 nuts at the...
That's true. You haven't used them, have you?
No.
And light arrows are a thing that are going to be used, so it makes sense to make sure you have plenty of arrows.
Yes.
So I imagine they give you arrows in boxes if you really need.
I think there's some jars that have arrows coming up.
But might as well make sure you're full. So if you do need lots and lots and lots, you can use those later to fill things.
If I have absolutely atrocious accuracy.
All right, here's the organ.
Yep.
I told you he likes music.
He does like his music.
And there's the keys as well. I will concede that keys are more common than the hortas or the torch slugs.
Dinophos. Have the exact same message as the Dinophos.
But they have shells instead of capes on their backs. And also I think they look more like dinosaur Tyrannosaurus Rex heads or the little... What are the things called that are fast and smaller and attack in groups or something?
Velociraptors?
Maybe those. Velocities? The ones that the guy tames in Jurassic World, which I have never seen.
I'm pretty sure it's Velociraptors.
Okay, they look kind of like Velociraptors or something. Or T-Rexes, I don't know. There's the music.
Yeah.
Ganondorf music. He should have just, started his own band.
I know. Saves everyone's so much pain.
Why did you make him the king of the thieves? Just let him have his own little band and compose music and be happy with his organ.
I wish that did something.
Did she say wake up?
I believe she said look out.
That makes more sense. Because, is she telling your bad guys to wake up? She wants them to be able to attack you? That would be horrible.
Stop being in the fire.
I can't attack you if you're in the fire. Case in point. She did say look there. Alright.
This is the boss key.
Yep.
Although I don't think there was a map or compass.
No, I don't think I saw either of those.
There's the boss key.
There were a few small keys, but just in the particular, light dungeon area. So, these are the same hallways we'll be going down later, but they'll probably look different, I suppose, huh?
Yeah, they will.
Interesting how that works.
Yep.
Maybe there's a servant staircase, like the back staircase, that we're going to take to return.
We go through these.
Oh, see, there's a different staircase then.
Instead of the doors.
Okay.
But we go through these rooms.
So we have a different staircase. All right. Can you do them one at a time then?
Yep.
That's a good way of doing it. No, all of these have women inside of them, but they have very masculine vocal sounds.
They do.
So that's interesting. And they're all Garudas inside, correct?
If you stand at the right spot, then they can't get you. Yeah. Watch out for its axe attack. It hurts a lot. Strike when it drops a scar.
How do you decide if axe has an E on the end or not? Is it
I do not know.
Is it like British versus American, or is there actually a different usage?
That's a really good question. I don't have the answer to it.
I suppose technically if you had an E on the end, you might want to say axe instead of axe. So that could be a reason to not have an A on the end. Ooh, okay, we're here.
No, we're not.
We're at the boss key, though.
Yes. These jars are full of, magic and arrows.
Yeah, this is where you're going to have the fight, but you'll be on an upper level.
And 1 rupees.
You already were full. Why are you opening them now?
I'm looking for magic.
Oh, okay. That one was empty? Oh, it's magic. There's more magic. And some money. Better. More money as well.
Yep. I need to have 362 instead of 360 rupees to end the game with.
Should be 365. Much more poetic.
Give somebody a rupee a day.
Yeah.
Provided Hyrulean years are 365
That's
days.
a good point. There's no
We,
reason
we
why
know
they-
their day-night cycle is significantly shorter.
It certainly seems like it. Or like either that or like it's always like they're on the equator or something. It doesn't like get longer or shorter, it seems like. I don't know. Alright, we should pay attention to our cutscene. Being in a building with an organ is really cool. Like a really huge giant pipe organ that's built into the building. It's a neat sound.
The lower left is wisdom, the lower right is courage, and the top is... Oh yeah, it fully restores your stuff here, I forgot.
Oh wow.
Oh well. Up is power.
The Triforce parts are resonating. They are combining into one again. It should be wisdom at the top because then you guys would be in the right
Positions
making
here.
the triangle.
Yeah.
The two Triforce parts that I could not capture on that day 7 years ago. I didn't expect they would be hidden within you two. And now, finally, all the Triforce parts have gathered here. I like how he does the cape.
Yeah.
These toys are too much for you. How old do you think he is? I command you to return them to me.
I don't know. The waves of darkness.
Link, I can't help you because of the waves of darkness. Oh, you're right. I can't get close. Thanks, Navi. I love you too. I'm sorry, Link.
And then his phantom instrument goes away.
Oh, yeah, you're right. His organ disappeared.
Yep.
He's given up on music and embraced being evil. It's a tragedy. So sad. How much have you actually used the Master Sword in this game?
Minimally. I got the big Goron sword very early.
Oh, question as well. When you go back in time to be a child, does the Master Sword disappear from your screen that shows all the different things that you have? Like, obviously, you can't use it, so it would potentially be, like, you know, grayed out or whatever.
It's grayed out.
But they don't show it,
It
as not.
doesn't
They don't show it as not.
vanish.
They don't show it as not being there. Because technically, you don't have it. You put it back.
Yeah.
So how was this as a kid? Do you remember?
I don't remember
Your
how
first
difficult
time
it
doing
was. Apparently, it's easier to deflect this with a bottle.
That's what I've heard. That went pretty well.
Yeah, I got the quick kill rhythm.
Mm-hmm. The great evil King Ganondorf, beaten by this kid. There's the kid again. Now, apparently, originally that was red.
Yeah.
Like, he was throwing out blood.
Kind of makes it sense for it to be green given his skin tone. If that's like, if there's...
Like, he's got green blood.
Yeah.
That's a really weird thought. But I think the idea was to make it seem less like he's, you know, bleeding profusely.
I don't know. Rating stuff is weird.
Yeah. Link! Is that his first time calling you by name instead of just kid?
I think so.
Wow, it's kind of interesting. Like, choice thematically or whatever. The stained glasses are breaking. I didn't even realize it was stained glass until now.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. The whole roof fell off, I guess. Did that feel anticlimactic to you?
I don't know.
Well, I know it's not completely done, so it's okay. Ganondorf, pitiful man. Without a strong, righteous mind, he could not control the power of the gods, and... Link, listen to me. This tower will collapse soon. With his last breath, Ganondorf is trying to crush us in the ruins of the tower. We need to hurry and escape. Please follow me.
Because she has the Triforce of Locks.
Yes. Her wisdom allows her to know how to open doors. Remember, you're going to be taught how to open doors by now,
Yep.
when you were 10 years old. Now, one of the few things I actually have seen, because I mentioned it's probably been like 10 or...
Random, I just skipped the tower collapse.
Well, I was gonna say, in contrast to that, it's probably been like 50 to 20 years before this that I've really seen this game played through. But a few years ago, Ben showed me a speed run where basically the only thing they do is the tower collapse.
Yeah, I think it's the Goma blue warp, wrong warp, where you beat Goma and then do the setup to end up warping to the that cutscene that we just saw. Of course, they don't do that now. They might still do it in no stale reference manipulation / no ace speedruns. Because those speedruns, you reprogram a door in Kokiri Village to take you to the credits. Which is not... Like, it's impressive, but also kind of not playing the game normally in any way.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't remember how much they explain things when Ganon shows up in this. Do you remember at all what they say?
We'll find out. I don't remember.
Okay, because what I always think of is what they say in the guide, because we had this as a kid, where it says, the Triforce of Power flickered to life. The sacred relic awakened the fallen warrior, granting Ganondorf a new body that reflected his twisted heart. Reborn as Ganon, no longer a man but a distorted beast, the king of evil was given the strength for one last battle before succumbing to the void. So, it kind of explains that the way that Ganondorf is able to come back as Ganon is because the Triforce of Power is still with him, empowering him or whatever. So we'll see if they make that explicit, like if it shows it flickering and glowing on his hand and then he becomes Ganon. I feel like they might do that. I'm not sure. But yeah, this is actually, it's an interesting guide because it's written as if it's like recounting the history, where it's like almost written as if it's supposed to be like the story, like this is, it opens, thank you, Link, now let's hurry. It opens with, like saying that a new scroll has been found in the, in the depths of the archives of the royal family, and it tells a new tale of the adventures of Link and Zelda, and here it is presented to you, So all of it's kind of written as like, oh, Link did this, and then Link did that, as if it's kind of telling the story of what Link did rather than telling you, the player, what to do. Mm-hmm. The other guides aren't written like that. This is the only one that's really written that way, but it's kind of interesting. So it's got some poetic things like that in it. Since it's written that way.
Yeah.
So did they incorporate this magic use in any way in the Super Smash Bros. Games when she's a playable character?
No.
I didn't mean the door locking. I meant the color of her magic, etc.
She's gotten, not really.
I didn't think so.
She's gotten... I guess there's a little bit of hints of those colors to some of her attacks.
Or like the shades.
There's a redead there, by the way.
Oh, I noticed. After you said it. Zelda just zoomed right past it.
Yeah.
Maybe as a Sheikah, she's used to things like that. Well, raised by the Sheikah, probably not a bad idea.
There might be a spot to do that before the fight.
Ow. Do what? Oh, get it so it's powered the certain way? Or what?
He's weak to the Master Sword.
Uh-huh.
So having a Master Sword jump / stored.
Yeah, that's what I thought
for
you
the
were
crouch
doing.
stab is really
That's what I thought you were
overpowered for the first phase of this fight.
Mm-hmm. I thought that's what you were doing, was something like that. So we'll see if it indicates the Triforce of Power is what revives him, or if he just shows up. I honestly do not remember. It's been a long time since I've seen this.
I believe it. Unsurprisingly, this episode's going to go over an hour. The shopping trip didn't help. But
Yeah. All episodes are over an hour.
I knew that the trials were going to take a bit.
Yep. Oh, and the side tower's falling. That's fun.
Yeah.
I can hear your controller vibrating.
Yeah, my controller is using the rumble feature.
It's over. It's finally over. Dramatic irony! Link. Oh, this is Tattle, sorry. Oh my goodness, Navi.
No, it's not.
I like Tattle better. Link, I'm sorry I couldn't help you in the battle before. Did that make any difference to you that you couldn't use her?
No.
I didn't think so. I guess you just couldn't Z-target, is that the idea?
Correct.
But you didn't really need to. I guess you're supposed to... What does she say if you speak? What is that sound? I've heard something like that. Alright, so you've charged the jump attack. I guess it's more powerful because it's got, like, force of momentum behind it. Is that the reason why?
The jump attack?
Yeah, that's why it's...
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think
Deals
they
double
are
damage.
going to show his Triforce of power. Empowering him to do this. And now this is the first game with Ganondorf, right? They've always had Ganon before, and not
Yeah.
Ganondorf. So this is the origins of Ganon.
There's, what, 3 games prior, I think?
Probably.
Or 4.
Well, he wasn't in Link's Awakening, was he?
No, I don't think so. I think this is the first one with Ganondorf.
Yeah.
And all the previous ones use Ganon.
Yep.
Well...
There's no way he's gonna hold me back again. This time we fight together. This is the most personality Navi has ever shown in her entire existence.
No. What about when she goes back towards the Great Deku Tree?
That's true. That was good. That was showing emotion that she was sad that he died. You still have a sword, mahahaha. If you didn't have the big Goron sword, what would you be doing here? The Megaton Hammer?
Megaton Hammer.
Megaton Hammer. Arrows, maybe?
Deku Nuts.
Deku Nuts.
Literally everything deals damage to his tail here.
Oh, Deku Nuts hurt it? Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Just use up all of your supplies. Bomb him, you know, bomb chews. Anything. Deku sticks.
There we go. It takes fewer hits if you have the Master Sword jump slash in there.
Link, the Master Sword is here. Hurry up.
I think you auto-equip it.
Well, it sure seemed like it. Yeah, it's auto-equipped to me.
What do you say?
Use the Master Sword. Destroy Ganon. How does she know he's called Ganon? Who told her that? Did he announce his name? I don't think he did.
With Sacred Sword?
Destroy Ganon with the Sacred Sword. Ganon. I really have no idea what his big... Again, she's showing some personality. Go Navi.
This is a lot brighter on the 3DS remake.
Well, everything's brighter than this. I mean, this is a very... It's been very saturated, and that includes all the dark colors. There's a light arrow.
If you light arrow his face, it stuns him.
Okay. Do you use him any other time attacking him?
I mean, you can. It doesn't help you much.
Okay. So I'm used to things like Wind Waker where he's being hit by light arrows by Zelda.
They
actually,
make
there,
light
but-
arrows significally more significant in future games.
Okay. So here they're literally just for destroying the barriers. That's basically it.
Destroying the barriers, and you have to use them against Ganondorf.
Oh, okay. That's right. Ganondorf had them, but not Ganon. Okay.
But yeah, Ganon, they don't matter. I am playing this abysmal. In my defense, I cannot see jack
I have
squat.
I can. Sometimes there's flashes of lightning and I can see for a split second. The rest of the time, maybe flashes of Link
Don't worry,
existing.
I have 2 fairies everyone.
Do you want to use your blue potion though?
Why?
Because you've got magic. I don't know.
It's in the game with the blue potion.
Okay, you want to keep it.
Yep. I'll use a fairy friend.
Yay! What happened to Saria's fairy friend when she became a sage?
That's a good question. I have no idea what
Is
the answer to that
is that a sign that she is dead? That her fairy friend isn't with her anymore?
Maybe.
Did the fairy friend die and then isn't a sage, so didn't come with us? What happens to the fairy? Like, are the fairies like guardians, or like because they're adults and they're for your children, or are they like a symbol of?
I never used Nehru's love.
A symbol of their soul or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do they just go back to the Great Deku Tree if the child dies, or how does that all work? I'm using my power to hold the evil king. You use your sword and deliver the final blow. I don't think that power is in the Super Smash Bros. Games either. The yellow light.
And time.
Yay! He's got green blood too, Ben. You're right.
Yeah. So that's where they end the speedrun, because Ganon's good.
There's no more playing. It's just credits. 6 sages now. Holy cow! I cannot see her at all. There, now I can. Thank you for the light.
Again, I may attempt to color correct this and brighten it and stuff. Post in the edit.
Ancient creators of Hyrule. Creators. Now, open the sealed door and send the evil incarnation of darkness into the void of the evil realm. So the sacred realm is now the evil realm because he took it over?
Mm-hmm.
And now he'll be stuck there until he escapes in Link to the Past or something.
Twilight Princess. Maybe, or no. Twilight Princess is a different timeline.
Link to the Past, I think.
So there's 3 timelines that come off of this in Hyrule Historia. One is Link fails, and you get Ganon, like, as the monster.
You. Curse you, Zelda. Curse you, sages. Curse you, Link. It's lowercase. Someday, when this seal is broken, because this is a prequel, so they're looking forward to Link to the Past. That is when I will exterminate your descendants, which the descendants of the sages.
Yeah.
Which might be that they're still alive because they haven't had kids yet, so they don't have descendants.
Yeah, I mean, there's a strong argument there, except for Daruni, who has a kid.
Daruni's got one, okay. And we don't know about Impa and people like that, I suppose, Noboru. As long as the Triforce of Power is in my hand.
So, yeah, there's the hero dies timeline. There's this timeline where Link beats him and he gets sealed away in the Sacred Realm. And then there's one more timeline.
Yeah, so you were talking about Link.
We'll talk about it in a moment.
Okay. Thank you, Link. Thanks to you, Ganondorf has been sealed inside the evil realm. Thus, peace will once again reign in this world for a time.
I remember people talking about a Sky Temple and a Sky Tunic and stuff that, like, there's no UI space for Sky Tunic, but people were talking about one existing. And...
Like when there all the rumors about the game
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff.
The rumor mills were really strong back in the day because
you didn't really have the internet to tell you how to beat the game.
Exactly.
Very well.
And like when you were a kid and you didn't have the internet with all sorts of information, and adults know how to data mine and all sorts of things, like speculation ran rampant about what could possibly be in the game, what secrets might be in there. And like you have Mew in Pokemon that was introduced because of those sorts of things.
Ben, her eyebrows are green again.
Yep.
That's how I know it's Zelda. She has green eyebrows. All the tragedy that has befallen Hyrule was my doing. That's what I said earlier, where she feels like she's to blame. I was so young. I could not comprehend the consequences of trying to control the sacred realm. I dragged you into it too. Now it is time for me to make up for my mistakes. You must lay the Master Sword to rest and close the door of time. However, by doing this, the road between times will be closed. Link, give the ocarina to me. As a sage, I can return you to your original time with it. She just looked distraught there.
Yeah.
It's the eyebrows, I think. When peace returns to Hyrule, it will be time for us to say goodbye. Now, go home, Link. Regain your lost time. Home, where you are supposed to be, the way you are supposed to be. Very abrupt. Thank you, Link. Goodbye.
So I'll talk about the thing when we get to the final scene.
All right.
Because that's where it comes up. Hey, Shigeru Miyamoto.
The bird! I see Gabora Gabora.
It's been really fun to replay this. I think one of the things that's been most standing out to me from just doing this playthrough was... So, like, the last time that I really played this game paying attention to the story probably was when I was a teenager. Because at that point, like, oh, I know what the story is, and I don't... Like, I'm playing the game to enjoy playing the game, not necessarily to examine the story.
That would be me.
Yeah, that is something you do. So I was always, like, skipping through the plot and not paying attention to it. And I like that they incorporate these scenes into the credits, by the way. So, you know, I had, like, oh, I know generally what happens in the plot. And so playing it again, paying attention to it as an adult, is like I'm engaging with this media differently and not just kind of like relying on my knowledge as a child. But, and like I picked up on a lot of things that just didn't stand out to me. Like how much they talked about Link being a real man.
Yeah, that was, all I can figure is that was supposed to be a hint to the fact that he was going to turn into an adult later on.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But that's also a way though that like our society, particularly back in the 90s, I think hopefully it's lessening, but talked to boys about like getting older, being a real man, and like
you're the man of the house now.
It's some sort of platonic ideal of masculinity that they're referring to, right? Because it's not literally talking about being a man in a physical sense, because if you have those parts, then you are a man in that sense, right? But it's some, and it's just gender. It's the gender of man. Occupy the gender of manhood. Be a real man, as opposed to not a man, I guess.
Baby.
And there's all sorts of wonkiness there. But it's just, that was a weird thing that kind of stood out to me that I was kind of thinking about some too. But it's just like the way that you approach media as an adult with a greater body of knowledge and understanding and reference and everything compared to a kid, where... And, like, this was also my first Zelda experience, so it had a lot of things where it kind of, like, set some of the pattern for what I was expecting a bit.
The prototypical Zelda kind of idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, yes, it was, like, this is what a Zelda game is. But I do think, we talked about this earlier, that it was influential in that regard for us, but other games like Majora's Mask and Wind Waker were actually more... important to us in our childhood, whereas like this was the first one, so it was important for that reason, but not because of our actual interest in this one.
That's true. Like it kind of set a bit of an anchor for what I think of Legend of Zelda,
but those other ones were we were more engaged with like what was going on in those and more interested and invested in those, I would say. And you said that as an adult, you appreciate it more for its influence, not on you, but on the industry. Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things where there's a lot of revolutionary stuff that they had to figure out to make this work. And I cannot say definitively if they were the ones who invented the lock-on targeting or not. But, like...
Look, he's upside down.
Yeah. They're holding the thing in one place. But it's one of those things where the lock-on targeting and the sword and shield gameplay... and stuff, the way that kind of fits together in here definitely feels like an archetype. And they had a lot of the dungeons and the puzzles in them and stuff in A Link to the Past, right? But some of what they did in 3D kind of stands out. But I mean, they had things in A Link to the Past with like lighting torches and stuff too. So, but yeah, definitely like it's importance. Oh, and these two both lost somebody, so they're
both sad because they were related to the sages. Which again, even if the sages are alive, it seems like they're not coming back.
Yeah.
Which means they're basically dead for these people.
Yeah. And here we see that the Zora recovered, but it would have been nice in game as well, or like during the playtime. But yeah, it's just one of those things where like that plus the randomizer and stuff has given me a lot more appreciation for what it did as like the first 3D Zelda game and its impact on things. Even though like as a kid, Majora's Mask and Wind Waker were way more important to me. I like how Saria is on top of Doreen.
I know, it's so cute. Oh, this always makes me cry.
Yeah.
For me, the music in this game by Koji Kondo has always been really important, and the music almost is more important to me than the game itself.
I know exactly what you mean.
Like, some of the nostalgia of the music is because it was in the game. Like, I think soundtracks can be a lot more powerful than other songs because they're tied to emotions of what's happening in the story.
A straight emotional tie.
So, but, this same music pops up in Majora's Mask and Wind Waker and other places too.
This is an important scene here.
Yes.
What happened to his Goron bracelet?
He doesn't have it anymore, apparently. They had to show all that first because now he's in a different time period.
Yeah. That happened in the adult timeline. Now we're going to the child timeline.
Like I said, the emotion of that doesn't hit me the way I think it's supposed to because Navi didn't feel like she was important.
Like, the Z targeting is too mechanical to really feel attached to her.
Yeah. And she's got like 2 or 3 times when she actually shows up.
Is there something?
Yeah, there's going to be a scene still.
Yeah, there's
with
still
Zelda.
some.
That's still coming up. Right here.
Yeah. So right here, my understanding is what's going on here is that when Link goes and visits Zelda here, he's like, we shouldn't go through the plan. And he shares with her, like, this is what happens if we go through with the plan.
Yeah, like, he remembers, she doesn't.
We let Ganondorf into the Sacred Realm.
Yeah.
And this splits off another timeline when they don't do that.
Which is where Majora's Mask then comes.
Yeah.
And she teaches him the Song of Time, as it were. I mean, gives him the Ocarina of Time, teaches him the Song of Time when they're children here, kind of, in this sort of situation. So, yeah. So those are the 3 different timelines. One where he fails, the one where he is the adult timeline.
And this is the thing I was referring to.
And has Link disappeared from that timeline?
Yeah, that's another question. I guess, the hero disappears at that point.
Yeah, because that's what I was asking, because you had said something earlier where you were like, oh, Link, wow, this is regressively red. Sorry, it's like sepia.
It is sepia here.
You were saying something earlier about like, oh, Link protests when she wants to send him back, and like,
no, I meant right here he goes and tells her.
That explains.
Our plan is bad.
I thought you were saying that he was telling her, no, I want to stay an adult, don't send me back, and that's where it split off the timeline of one version of saying and one going back. That explains, because I was really confused. I was like, what are you talking about? That doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's the timeline he creates as an adult, and then when he goes back and stops them from executing the plan.
I'm thinking that
then the one where he dies.
I'm thinking that in the future timeline where it's successful, he just disappears.
That's probably true.
So it's the young Link time that we're seeing here where they don't actually do the event. So presumably that means like Ganondorf doesn't actually succeed in this timeline. So you have to question whether any of the games that are supposedly, because they didn't plan this, right? And before doing until a certain point, like Breath of the Wild, where they realized they were doing a timeline from Hyrule Historia, they weren't actually planning this.
Skyward Sword, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying around that, whenever those were. Theoretically, I would imagine that means that the games that are set from this timeline, like Majora's Mask and all that, shouldn't have Ganondorf in them.
I think they do have.
Well, they do, because Twilight Princess is in this timeline, because the Link that teaches you the wolf in Twilight Princess is the Link, this Link, who did Majora's Mask and everything, the young Link.
Yeah.
So they do have a Ganondorf. So that's what I'm confused by. Because in theory, Ganondorf presumably was arrested by her father or something and never succeeded.
Something else. I'm not 100% sure how the timeline's supposed to work.
Unless there's supposed to be another story involving this link that we don't have a game for, where Ganondorf succeeds at a later point.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And maybe is curb stomped really quickly or something too. I don't know.
And I'd have to review all of the history stuff to kind of be able to talk about that.
Well,
in any sort of
I'm guessing
way.
That's something they overlooked or didn't think about. That presumably in this version,
they might have some sort of explanation for what goes on. I just don't know.
Yeah,
offhand,
that could be too.
Because it's been too long since I've looked at timeline stuff.
Yeah. I've never read the book or anything. But yeah,
we don't have Hyrule Historia.
Yeah. My guess though, based on what we're seeing here with this timeline, is that Gandalf, oh my God, Ganondorf.
That's a very different.
That would be very different.
Gandalf gets the Triforce of Power.
Ganondorf, he's got the ring. He doesn't need that.
It's true.
Ganondorf. What was that?
Nenya or something.
I think Nenya might be the one that Galadriel has. Vilya, I think, is Vilya the one that Elrond has?
I don't know the names of the.
I don't remember. Vilya, Nenya, and I can't remember what the third one is.
Anyway, tangent.
Not Narya. No, I don't remember. Anyway, I can look it up later if we want to actually see this.
I don't care enough.
The book's over there in the corner.
It is.
It'll be in the last few pages of it. Anyway, I have them underlined.
Ganondorf.
Yes. Presumably in this version, Ganondorf doesn't succeed.
Yeah, presumably.
So it kind of makes you wonder how all of that's supposed to, go, how that goes out instead. But yeah, I was saying that for me, some of the influence of this game is the music.
Yeah.
And like you said, just being the first one, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first one, not the most beloved one, as it were. The introduction of this is what a Zelda game is.
Yeah.
And now we have the variations on it that I like more.
Yeah, because my own gaming history, I didn't get into Nintendo stuff until the N64 because of GoldenEye.
Yeah, because our cousins had GoldenEye, and we enjoyed, or I guess you enjoyed.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, and I'd been gaming before that, earlier, but I wasn't playing
mostly
console.
on the computer.
Yeah, I was playing Doom and Quake and stuff as a 6-year-old.
Yeah. Yes, we were playing Doom as wee tots.
And so it was with the N64 that I got into Nintendo. So I missed the SNES and NES eras. So.
And Game Boy. You had Game Boy Color.
I got a Game Boy Color. I'm not quite sure when I got that.
Yeah. That's Pokemon, though.
Yes.
That was what that was really for. So, yeah, the music is influential for me. And what I noticed in this time around is that it was definitely, I've said this so many times, it's definitely more cinematic than I realized.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They had I wasn't paying attention to things like camera angles when I was a kid.
It turns out.
Shock of shock.
You don't notice technique as a kid.
Yeah. Exactly. So
generally.
So I definitely...
Unless you're into that thing.
Yeah, but as a kid, you probably wouldn't be. I mean,
some kids might be into filmmaking.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess they could be at a young age. But there were a lot more interesting camera angles, as it were, and camera movements.
Yeah.
That it would be really interesting to see it, recreated as an anime with some of those scenes, actually recreated. Because there was some really great use. So I appreciated that. I definitely noticed that theme of manhood and also the theme of destiny.
Yeah, destiny was huge.
That was a big one. And I sometimes changed my vocalizations to indicate, oh, they said the word.
Yep.
When they brought up destiny. So that stood out to me as well. Something for my own personal taste, I like character-driven stories and stories that focus on character development and stuff. So ideally, which obviously they're not doing because they don't have time for that, etc. But having more development of the characters, the sages and stuff like that. It does have some degree of being character-driven, though, in that, as Zelda says, she, her hubris. Yeah. You could also almost say it's like a tragedy for her, right? Her hubris is what kind of makes this all happen. So I do like that they kind of have that kind of a theme. And it's interesting, just think about this now, to juxtapose that with the theme of destiny.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm having all these nightmares about how horrible he is and how we have to stop him, and I'm the destined princess and you're the destined hero and destiny. And then they should have not done anything.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like Oedipus.
Yeah, Oedipus, yeah. Well,
yeah, Oedipus.
The Greek, the way it always works in Greek tragedy is that the hero has some kind of flaw, normally hubris, which is, pride, right? That causes his downfall.
Yeah.
That's what would make it.
Both like that one, it's like, got a prophecy about the guy killing his father and marrying his mother, so they sent their son away somewhere else,
so that he wouldn't know his parents.
So he wouldn't do that.
Yeah, so he wouldn't.
And
do that,
and that
exactly.
means that he ends up like becoming a leader in a foreign army or something, and coming in and killing his father as part of an invading force and marrying his mother.
Yeah. I don't remember if it's the invading army necessarily.
I
think
don't know
it
the
might be
plot.
something like he kills his father on a road elsewhere and didn't even know that was essentially the guy he'd killed maybe. And then comes and saves the city, which doesn't have a king now. So they're like, oh no, we can't stop whatever this bad guy is. And he saves the city and then he kind of takes over. I think it's something like that. But yeah, I mean, the basic idea of what you're saying there is if
they hadn't followed the prophecy, that wouldn't have happened.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like it's a prophecy that's fulfilled because it was given.
Yeah, and like Beth, it's a common trope of that idea.
But it's kind of happening here, which is interesting.
Yeah, and the fact that destiny is such a theme, and then the end is Zelda like regretting heeding the call of destiny.
Yeah.
Almost. Right? And also it's like interesting thing about her father's perspective, because like she's going to her father and saying, this guy's bad news, you need to like do something, and her father is her father actually aware that Ganondorf is bad news and is trying to deal with it in a different way and is like keeping his daughter out of it, because it's like, yeah, I'm planning on like, I'm planning to accrue all the evidence I need to arrest him, and then you're barging in and ruining my sting operation,
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I know exactly what you mean, where like sometimes adults are handling the problem, they're just not like,
they're not telling you because you're
it's
a
a
kid.
subtler hand.
It's not like, let's go and open the door so we can get in so that we can get there before him. It's like, no, let's make sure all of the spiritual stones are far away where he can't reach them, and the ocarina, like these are 4 different places so he can't easily get them all, instead of collecting them conveniently for him in one location.
Instead of opening the lock for him.
Yeah. Make sure all parts of the keys are
he needed 5 things out of the way.
Yeah.
Like, he needed the 3 spiritual gems, the Ocarina of Time, and the Master Sword.
Yeah.
To get into the Sacred Realm.
Yeah.
And he could not, like, he was not being given the spiritual stones. He couldn't just, like, grip them out of somebody, right?
Uh-huh.
So he failed to get the spiritual stones. The Ocarina was secreted away, and even if he got it without the spiritual stones, it doesn't open the door.
Does he know the song?
Mechanically it does, but let's ignore the mechanics. Like, and
does he know the song to play on the ocarina?
And like, he needs the Song of Time to be able to open it.
Yeah.
If he got the spiritual stones, so even if Ganondorf could open the door of time, like the Sword of Evil's Bane cannot be drawn by Ganondorf. He cannot wield the Master Sword.
Yeah.
So he could not undo that final seal. It literally requires somebody like Link to pull the Master Sword to open the seal to the Sacred Realm. So, like, if they, which is exactly what we think happens here with this kid ending, Link is like, this is a bad idea. We're not doing the plan. I've done it. It's bad. We don't do it.
Yeah.
And that prevents Ganondorf from being able to get the Sacred Realm.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
but yeah, it's totally possible. You know what this reminds me of, actually, is Star Wars Episode 8, where they don't tell Poe Dameron what the heck is going on, so he devises his own solution to the problem. And it makes everything worse.
Yeah. Well, and it's like I was talking about with the Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's / Philosopher's Stone earlier, but that's a great one too, where like if you just told Poe what the plan was, he wouldn't be doing things that then mess it up.
Like, he just needs to know that there is a plan that is not complete, like...
Give up and surrender?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He needs to know what he's fighting for, because that's what the sort of person he is.
And I mean, like, for all we know, her father was completely trusting and discounting things. Who knows?
But we just don't have enough information.
We don't.
Which is actually one of the things, and I think we might have talked about that already on stream. We took a walk earlier and talked about a bunch of stuff too. But the need for mystery, and where sometimes they've given us a little too much mystery, where we don't have any direction to go.
Yeah.
Right? So we can speculate what the King of Hyrule was thinking, but we never get anything from his perspective.
Yeah, or even see him.
Yeah.
So we have no sense at all. Like, you could easily, if you had a scene, like maybe you could easily put it in that scene with Ganondorf, of where we see the king, and they say have words exchanged, where there could be a hint for an adult who's paying attention to realize that the king is suspicious of this guy.
Yeah.
Versus, like, no, he seems completely trusting. I mean, you could potentially do that if they went to. They're obviously not going for something that. But it is interesting to realize that there is a bit of a subversion of that theme of destiny that's happening.
It's true. That is
with
interesting.
this ending. So it's a little bit more complicated than I kind of realized.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So one final thing I wanted to mention is I do think it's really interesting that this series is called The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
And just kind of that framing. That it's not Legend of Link, it's Legend of Zelda.
Which is really interesting when you have games like the Oracle games that don't really feature Zelda, for example.
Yeah. Even
or
Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask, she's kind of a cameo. But
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know that she's in the artwork for the Oracle games, because we have like the booklets or guides and things.
Back when games came with guides.
Yeah.
Or little manuals inside of them.
Yes, the manuals have artwork for Furore and Din and Eru and Impa, and so the Impa's in those, so I think Impa must like be like, oh, Zelda sent me a letter to give you or something. Doesn't
I don't remember. It could be.
But
does Minish Cap feature Zelda? I think it does. Yeah, it does.
But so I just think it's interesting because like, oh, Link's Awakening. I don't know if she's in that.
Yeah, I don't think she's in Link's Awakening. But Link's Awakening is weird because it includes Goombas.
It might be a dream or something too, right?
It is.
But
spoilers. Yeah,
spoiler. He's awakening. Okay, he wakes up at the end. But just the framing that gives that. And, like, it's a little thing, you know, but there's a difference in The Legend of Link versus The Legend of Zelda that I think is kind of interesting to think about. And definitely with this one, you could make a case for her being the main character.
Yeah.
Because she, to some degree, is the one instigating things.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Link's the one we're following around.
Yeah.
So he's the protagonist from that standpoint, or the main character or whatever. But, you know, even the fact that she is Sheik the whole time. So even, you know, as an adult, she is guiding Link a lot. Like, Link could not have done this without her. Yeah. I mean, you know, she gives him the ocarina and the song. She's the one that, you know, tells him, like, oh, this is what our plan is. Get the spiritual stones. She's the one that helps him as an adult to learn all the songs for teleportation and to know where the temples are and who the sages are and stuff like that. Like, she gives him the light arrows.
I wonder where she got the songs of teleportation.
That's part of that 7-year gap that I want to have explored.
I know. I would really like to see a game set in that 7-year gap.
I want to see this game from her point of view.
Yeah.
Because that would really bring into focus that hubris and that tragedy, that tragic element.
Or like an anime or something.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a game. But, I mean, honestly, I don't know how well it works as a game or not, but...
yeah, because what would you be doing?
Seeing a story set from her perspective of the whole thing. But even the fact that Link doesn't talk, they are able, especially in some of the later games and stuff like with Twilight Princess and stuff, to show his emotions on his face and his acting, and we get that here too.
Although I was impressed with how well they use animation to convey stuff.
Do a really good job. Yeah, that's part of the cinematic nature of it. They really do a good job with their limitations of getting emotion across.
For sure.
So I applaud them with that. But he doesn't talk. So in some ways he's a cipher. He's almost like
That's true.
a non-character in some ways. So she's the one that is expressing the emotion at the end. Like, she's the one who's being like, this is my fault. I made all of this happen. You know, I'm going to send you back in time so you can live the life that I stole from you because you were stuck for 7 years in the void. Yeah. You know, kind of thing. So from that perspective, it really is Legend of Zelda. You know?
Yeah, it is.
So it's interesting to think about that. But
yeah, just you mentioning that 7-year gap. I think I mentioned in a previous part, but just the idea of, like, I wonder how much did this game instill the idea in me that you suddenly magically are an adult one day when you like.
Yeah, I think you did mention that. Yeah, I don't know.
So I think that that sums up most of what I think we wanted to say.
Yeah, I think so. I enjoyed it a lot. Again, I would have liked a little bit, if it were possible, which I don't think it was, to have had more development of characters, but I think considering...
I think there's some conversations I missed on, like Malin before.
Yeah, and you did. You could have had more exploration of some of those things. I think the biggest thing that I would have liked better, and I think it really is more of a thing for Majora's Mask probably than this one, is Navi is supposed to be like this character that you're sad when she leaves, and you can tell with that framing that it is supposed to be sad. You're supposed to be upset when she leaves, and rather than just like, you know, I have like, oh, she's left, okay. And then you have like Link walking down the stairs with this dramatic music, and I'm like focusing on that part rather than like her leaving almost feel like an afterthought. Yeah. Notice she's not here in the scene.
No, she's not. There's no sign of.
I'm pointing at the screen. You can't tell. There's no sign of Navi with him.
I mean, they've been staring at this end screen for half an hour.
This is a podcast now.
It is. It is now a podcast.
Has it really been half an hour?
Maybe.
I have no idea. I don't think it has been half an hour. I think it was over an hour when we finished, but I'm not sure. Anyway, but yeah, and that's not a huge thing for this game. It's more because that is then a base for Majora's Mask. But it's kind of a thing here where I think they did mean for that to be emotional.
Yeah.
And it didn't hit me.
You need to really like, part of it is Navi is the first companion of the sort that they've done.
Yeah.
And I think both Tattle and Midna are way stronger.
And King Red Lions.
Yeah, King of Red Lions.
Like,
King of Red Lions is a little bit more...
A kind of comparable thing.
More muted, but...
More muted. Well, I think kind
or
of...
less present or whatever.
I think kind of a... He yawns. It's adorable. I think kind of a comparable thing to the Navi leaving at the end in the credits, just to be emotional, and this is spoilers for Wind Waker, is when you have the ending scene where you've got Teacher and the pirates, and you got Link in his little boat leaving at the end, like after the credits were like, we're going to go wherever the wind takes us or whatever kind of thing, and the boat doesn't move anymore.
Yeah.
He's not in the boat anymore. It's just a boat.
Yeah.
There's no,
life to
it. That gets me way more than Navi leaving.
Yeah.
That feels way more emotional.
Navi just, like, she's here, but she's too, just information.
Yeah.
She's not been instilled with enough of her own personality. And there's,
Yeah.
like, bits, like...
She's got the bit where she's sad about the Deku Tree dying, and she's got the bit where she's like, I'm going to help you after all, Link.
Yeah.
With Ganon.
I'm going to brave these waves of darkness.
Yeah. And there's nothing else.
Yeah.
That is it. So, I think that could have been a little bit better, but it was the first time, like you said, doing it.
Yeah.
There's a lot more, like you said, hand-holding of dialogue
Yeah,
than I was
there was a lot more
expecting.
than I remembered.
But it's the first time I'm in a 3D game, so
yeah,
I
well,
can
and
see
the thing
some
is,
of
you
that.
need some of that tutorial stuff.
Yeah, you do.
For first-time players.
You
And, like,
definitely do.
this is a good game to learn how to play games on.
It is,
Because it teaches you a lot of stuff. Hearts are way more intuitive life meter than a green bar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or like a green or a red bar or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hearts are much more intuitive that way. And they teach you about a lot of the stuff. So I think from that standpoint also, like, this is a good...
It'll just mess you up because you won't know which is up and down for other games later.
Well, a lot of games where that's going to start becoming an issue give you the option to choose.
That's true. That's true.
So
So you can just go with it here and learn it this way, and then you can change all the other ones to match it, I guess.
Yeah.
That was just a weird side effect I wasn't expecting. That somehow, at some point, you learn to switch which way is up and down. So it's kind of funny.
It threw me off so much. I was not expecting that.
You could not aim.
Like I said in that one time, it's like somebody swapped your gas and brake pedals in your car.
Don't even talk about it.
It's like, okay, yeah, you can deal with it, but all of your muscle memories are wrong.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, it was really fun to do this. I enjoyed it a lot. It was good to see this game again after such a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for suggesting this, Ben.
Yeah.
Making sure this actually happened.
I'm glad that we've done it. I was not expecting it to take as long. We are planning on doing Majora's Mask next at some point in time, but there's no
someday
definite. This is kind of as we're able to make time for it.
Yes.
So, but
we have lives. We can't spend all day playing Zelda.
Yes, and nor would I necessarily want to.
Yes, that too.
So I do want to like go through Majora's Mask and Wind Waker and Twilight Princess and be like, oh, that's right, and Skyward Sword, which I think I've only played the once.
Yes, that's far as I'm aware. I mean, I guess I wouldn't know, but I've only seen it the one time through.
I just remember that playthrough during the opening thing where everything was an innuendo and it was hilarious and we were cracking up.
I wonder if we can recreate that or not.
I have no idea.
I don't know. I don't remember what the dialogue was. I just remember that.
I don't remember the dialogue either.
Turned every line into an innuendo.
I've seen speedruns and they skip all those cutscenes.
So
I have not seen them since.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how that goes. But that's going to be a long way down the road.
Yes, a long way down the road. And they'll all probably be at this quality because this is the capture device we have. So.
Yes, so alas.
If you would like me to be able to get a better capture device at some point in time in the future, you can go to my Patreon at patreon.com/Scientier and sign up and help towards those sorts of things.
Help support you. Yes.
Got to get the plug in there somewhere. Might as well be at the very tail end.
Good thinking.
Yeah.
So patreon.com/Scientier, you said?
Yep.
SIENTIR?
There should probably be a link in the description of all of these videos.
That would make sense.
So
maybe it'll even show up on the screen somewhere.
Maybe. I don't.
Probably not.
I don't know how much effort I want to put in editing these because editing is not my thing.
Yes.
But. All right. Well, I think that's probably going to wrap it up for us then.
I think so. Do you have anything profound to say here at the end?
No. So, and thank you very much for watching. It's been a fun time. Thank you very much for joining me, Jennifer.
Thank you, Ben, for inviting me.
It's been great. And until next time, everyone, take care and goodbye.
Bye-bye. May the Triforce be with you.